Good morning, everybody, and today I am now a partner for the Overprime game. And that makes me really happy. So, with that, I get to show you things to come in the future. Not everything will be in this upcoming patch, but we get to show a little bit of what's going to happen this upcoming patch in the end of May 2023, and a little bit to look forward to in June. The first things first, that's very obvious. Greystone exists. Auto attacks look very clean. His Q is he spins. He does that, you can auto attack during it. It's Greystone, no one's surprised. And you can right click to jump. Very basic. So one thing that's a little bit of an awkward thing right now in this test build is Greystone's kit says, press Q to summon a whirlwind that lasts 4.5 seconds. It's actually a long time now that I think about it. That does total AD damage with scaling AD damage, and then same with the right click. Jump to a target location doing physical damage, AD being physical, attack damage, clarify. But currently, as you can see, it's doing magic damage. If I buy magic items, it scales with magic damage. Same with the right click. So, I'm not sure which way it's supposed to go, but as we can see with his ultimate though, upon receiving fatal damage, you turn to stone, slowing nearby enemies by whichever level your ultimate is, from 9 to 30, for 3.4 seconds. Slow is stronger for nearby people. Afterwards, you return to normal and regain 60% of your HP and mana. This scales with level, so if I'm early on, I think it only gives you 40, then 50, then 60, and so on. On landing, you deal base 340 true damage with a scaling of 180 magic damage to nearby and knock them into the air. So, again, the Q, auto attacking, and then right click jump. You can do all of those while moving. His E, every 4.5 seconds. Again, this is max leveled. If I really wanted to, I could go through each level at a time. But the idea is on cooldown, block one basic attack. Now that makes him a really good tank. What it also does, and it doesn't explicitly say, is E, his passive, blocks tower shots. So as you see there, it says block. So, fun fact there. But let's say I do end up dying, after a few power shots and blocking another one. It takes a hot second, even with no items. This animation plays. Yep, that animation plays for his revive animation. Looks really cool. Obviously, the training ground looks different, as it's a bit more detail. I wonder what they're gonna end up doing with it, but it's got more detail now. The other big thing that we get to see is the character Adele. She's gonna be teased for June, around my birthday when she's coming out, probably. Sprint animation, she glides on her shield, which looks really cool. She does scale physical, and actually does work scaling physical. We don't have to worry about that. So, her Q, extend the whip forward to a selected target, stabbing for physical damage, and then charge again, dealing physical damage. It is a lock-on ability, so you can't target anything, as you can hear me by mashing Q. But if I look at the dummy and do it, you charge in. Not only is this wonderful for engage, you can also do it while jumping. So if you get knocked into the air or need to jump off of a ledge to do it, you can. The range is about auto attack range, which is about 19 meters. This is ranged auto attack range for people that don't know in the training grounds. So as you can see, I cannot do it, but the moment I get to the edge of that range, I can jump in. Her E is a double slash horizontally, and then a vertical slash of true damage, again scaling physical and actually doing physical. So really good burst damage if you have build for it. And then her right click, she enters this stance where she can only auto attack. As you can see, my other abilities are locked out. slowly draining mana. Excuse me. And gaining magic defense and physical defense, and since they are percentage based, the more you have of each, the stronger this is. Not only that, you move 30% slower, so as you can see me moving back and forth here, if I do right click, I start to move a lot slower. But some of just her basic stuff is Q in, E quickly, and then an auto attack or whatever. And then you can use your right click to defend yourself while you're waiting for your cooldowns. One thing that I can already tell is going to be a part of her skill ceiling and skill expression is the ability to enter shield, and since people know you can't do any abilities, there's a short little brief period while the animation of the shield's going down. So if you do shielding auto, immediately unshield, while the shield's going down, you can press E or Q. You can jump and do it. That way people still see the shield, and you can kind of use that time to throw an ability out. And then the thing I haven't talked about, her ultimate. Combine the sword and shield, then push them into the ground, causing a poisonous pit that slows enemies by a within range up to 50% slow for 10 seconds. And then during those 10 seconds, deal true damage equal to 10% of max HP per second. And for non-hero targets, that max is at 150. So if you try an ult deer or ult big, you'll only do 150 per tick, doing 1,500 true damage, which is not bad at all to objectives, but it's not gonna melt them that quickly. As we're gonna see here, now keep in mind, this dummy has essentially infinite HP, so the ultimate doing 10,000 true damage is only because that's 10% of this dummy's HP. But if you do the math, 10 seconds of 10% max health is 100%. So if somebody stays in the entirety of Adele ultimate, that'll just kill them. So a good quick little combo if you need to try and burst someone. Q, E, ultimate. Or if you want to start proccing the ultimate a little bit sooner there, what you could change it to, let me quickly just get some mana back, just so that way I have enough and I don't lose mana mid-combo. One thing that I find is a little bit faster is you Q in, ult, and then you E. That way you start proccing the ultimate damage sooner in the combo, and that way they don't immediately back up. Obviously you don't want to do this while people have their disengages, but that's the idea. So again, you Q, E, and then you right click while you wait for cooldowns. She's very strong, but she is meant to be a tank. Do keep that in mind. Alright, and those are the two hero showcases. Various changes in stats throughout all the characters, but since we don't, as partners, have a list right now, there's not really much we can do in that regard. As for item changes, we can easily cover part of that. So first things first, we're going to show here is that there are two new components, two new minor items. One of those is part of Gloves of Jealousy. Where's the item? There it is. A new minor component to Glove of Jealousy is Worn Gloves. It's just this, but slightly weaker. Dealing damage with a basic attack within 6 seconds of using a skill does bonus magic damage equal to 20% compared to the 75 that big Gloves of Jealousy does. This way, while building the minor item, or building up to this item, you still get part of its components. That way you can still get the bonuses from this. The other big one that's getting added is for Marauder's Watch. That is Clock Piece. A successful basic attack on an enemy decreases all your skill cooldowns by 0.2 seconds. This is very similar to what we have in the current live patch as I'm recording this video, where your basics reduce all skill cooldowns by 0.3. So with this being the minor, you might think, oh, what's the big one? What if this is the small one, is really worth buying if you're just going to get 0.1 seconds? Yes, because decrease all skill cooldowns by 0.3 every time damage is dealt by a basic attack or a skill to an enemy. So this starts to include other, abilities, as it says. And this is going to be the item that I think people are going to sleep on a little bit at first, unless you watch this video. If you watch this video, you know how strong this item is going to be. So let's show what this entails. We'll start it on a weak example. And you might be thinking, oh, you picked Phase. But Marauder's Watch is a You picked Phase. Marauder's Watch is a physical item. Why would you want to do that? Oh, very reasonably and understandably so. If you build full CDR on all the other ones and, you know, magic damage, let's say I just happen to walk up to the enemy. This dummy. For some reason in the training grounds you can't link, but, you know, oh well. Q, 1000 damage. So this build's not bad. And then if I auto, I do 550. Again, not terrible for this build, considering one of them is AD. But if I do Q, it goes on 5 seconds. If I ult, 45. Or 54, sorry. So, if I want to do pop. As you can see, that shaved a lot of the ultimate down and immediately put the Q back off cooldown. So if I do right click Q, so that would be her combo, Link Blind.
Link it up.
Immediately landing E and all of E, keep that in mind. It brings Q back up, right click back up, and now my ultimate is
Not so fast.
back up.
Hyperflux.
So after 3 laser beams, discounting the link and the damage it may do, discounting the blind and the damage it may do, just 3 beams alone brings her ultimate back up, and it's not an insignificant amount of damage. On other characters, this gets a little bit more interesting, to say the least. Some of you might already be realizing where this is going. So for this, again, Marauder's Watch, and then we're going to build some mana items because we're going to burn through mana here. There we go. So on Shinbi, remember, every time a skill hits, it goes on a lower cooldown. So if I press E, E's already back up. So if I ult, and then E, this is only using one ability right now in auto attacks. My E is permanently up. And that, again, that's only using E. That's not throwing in Qs, which give mana back, Qs. Like, you're getting the idea here. And then I could ult again already. That's crazy, you know? Mages, they burn through a lot of mana. It makes a lot of sense. But are there any characters that benefit off of it using AD? Well, yes. Twin Blast uses it really well, actually. Again, a little loud during that, but that's kind of out of my control.
Ventilator ready.
Let's do some more physical power-based items. Again, not optimal in any capacity. I'm just buying items to buy items. But Bum. I'm missing a lot of abilities here, keep that in mind, but I've already dashed so many times and I'm gonna do it again. But if you have like a blue buff or water deer, you already get the idea. Now there's one character that does it the best physical damage wise, and that's Sparrow. We're gonna turn on unlimited mana again just for sake of demonstration. But for sake of demonstration, let's do what theoretically could be a realistic build. So we're gonna want physical attack. Some people might want Claude Storm. It's something I would build. And then let's do the Kima Cannon for that armor pen. And then let's do 3 crit items, which is Frendea's Treasured Sword. This is a really good build in my opinion. So, with infinite mana, really low cooldowns, I'm just going to be quiet and let the whole thing play out. And I'm already ulting again. and my ult backup. So, I'm gonna coin it here first. I haven't seen every video on this patch, but when the Marauders patch goes through, you saw it here first at Dapper Dice. This is going to be a very strong item for characters that have multi-hit abilities. Obviously, on some characters, it's not going to be as great. On like Rampage or Murdoch or Muriel, it's not going to be as great. But for the characters that can use it, it will be phenomenal. Other things that are not those big changes, another minor one we're going to be seeing is, where is Spirit's Armor? Spirit's Armor is getting Tenacity. 20%. Feels real good. Feels real good. You know, it's already got the movement speed added to it, the lack of penalty for auto attacks, the physical damage, the magic power. Just overall a really good buff. Another buff we may see is Bells of Purification. Instead of doing 8 magic power per stack, it's now going to do 10 magic power per stack, and up to 5 times. So now this is officially the second strongest AP or magic power item. When I say AP, I mean ability power. Used to League, sorry. This is the second highest magic power item because you start with 60, you stack it 5 times with basic attacks or abilities, and you get an additional 50 because you can stack 10 5 times. That's a 110 stack. The only other one that gets close is Mathematicians, and obviously the uncontested is Rampaging Toto at 120. So, just to give a quick example on how fast you can stack a Bells of Purification, I will literally only have level 1 phase. Oh, that's the wrong button. By Bells of Purification. And if you look right here on the screen, right next to where it says Sprint Mode, just watch it instantly stack. And though it's hard to see because of all that, all the back and forth it did, as you can see, it's already at 5 stacks, so it's not a difficult item to stack if you have any form of multi-hitting. So with that, that is all of the basics when it comes to what we already know. There are some other things that are going to be shown. Just let me cut to that and we'll get there. Alright, as we're entering in this custom game right now, that's why I'm going to be alone during this, there are going to be a few / big changes. First things first, 2 new items. Those are going to be Secret Assassination Technique. Secret Assassination Technique gives 50 physical power, 15 physical pen, 5% movement speed, and upon defeating an enemy hero, increase movement speed by 30% and then enter stealth mode for 5 seconds. Stealth is removed upon hit or attacking. Keep in mind, you can also do sprinting during this. So, some people are worried about it. I'm personally not. The fact that if you take damage, it reveals you leans towards the fact that it's not going to be as broken as people are scared of, that's for sure. But the other things. First, I'm just going to grab Jungle Stone, because that's a very important thing that we're going to be seeing here. Adele's got some great animations, but absolutely phenomenal. Big changes here is one, red buff spawns, that's not surprising at all. But this used to be a 3 camp right here. This used to be 1 camp. This is still the Link camp, even if the Link's not visible for whatever reason. This used to be the anti-heal camp. As you will notice, they've been moved around. This is now the solo camp. This is now the anti-heal camp. That's now the trio camp, and red buff is still red buff. So let me quickly clear this and show you another thing quickly about Adele while I'm showing you guys everything else. And for anyone curious about her level 1 clear with no leash, well, this is how it is. There we go, pretty quick. So something you can do with Adele is you don't have to link specifically to champions. You can link to anything that is targetable by normal means. So that's minions, that's monster camps. You get the idea. One thing they're also doing is they're making these camps slightly easier to clear. So they're going to die a lot quicker, as you guys may have already noticed that this is going a lot faster than usual level early on. This is done for two reasons. One, it's supposed to make jungle clear a little easier, that way people aren't spending that much time in here. And just to double check, god damn it, all the minions vanished. Let me double check that you can hit minions. I want to make sure. You can, good, just had to make sure. But the reason the camps are so easy to kill now is it's going to be harder for counter invades. The reason why is because they come up faster. Ugh. Apologies for all the yawning. After a quick cut coming soon, I will be much more awake and less yawning. But regardless, the reason that the camps are a lot easier to clear now is to prevent counter jungling. So if I go invade, that's what it's supposed to prevent. Because by making the camps easier, they're worth less gold, worth less XP. And by doing that, invading doesn't get you as big a reward. And you might be saying to yourself, but if they're faster and worth less, then how does it prevent counter invades? Well,
Let's play again sometime.
the jungle camps will come up faster. So if I invade all of the enemy's blue side here instead of going back, then by the time they get there, maybe the camps are up, so they don't lose as much. And what a perfect time to come back from a cut. As we can see, one pad is off and one pad is turned on. There's a reason for that. The pads are now turned off by default. While I stepped away, both were off. But the moment orange showed up, or as I refer to it, deer showed up, that pad turns on. This is to make it so that way if you die or back early on, you're actually punished a little bit more. Not only that, if I were to go take damage and then come back, the fountain regeneration is actually a little bit slower. This way, it again punishes you for just being risky, taking a lot of damage, and backing without guaranteeing that you have your lane set. So if I'm the mid laner here, I pushed my wave into tower as it's doing here, I could have backed, grabbed this, and since deer's up, I can just jump this and get back to lane. But if no objective's up, like purple here, mini or big, depending what size it is, as you can see it's turned off. Another minor thing that people may not have realized is entering fountain automatically puts you in sprint mode. So as you can see, I'm not in sprint mode, and normally when entering sprint mode, that whole animation starts. But if I just enter the fountain, it just puts me in sprint mode. So another fun fact there. And now the big reason why I'm on this map. Once Guardian appears at a little bit earlier now, at 7 minutes instead of 8 minutes, I'm going to show you where this portal leads. Now, it's easy to tell at the map if I started talking. Ooh, portals are actually on a longer timer than I expected. Never mind. Plus, it's bugged. Nope, okay. So, mini spawns a minute earlier than usual, but the portals don't. Well, while we're waiting for portals, then let me explain the item. Because there was another item that I didn't mention. Star's Grace. 50 magic defense, 300 HP, 20% tenacity, passive, grant crowd control immunity for 2 seconds to the caster and nearby allies upon casting your ultimate, can happen once every 40 seconds. So for you Narbash mains out there that have been wanting something for his ultimate, there you go. You and your team can have 2 seconds of CC immunity when using this. This is obviously good on other champions as well. As a tank, Adele could probably use it really well. Again, just ulting and staying in the fight with CC immunity. Great for that sort of idea. Steel using it really well. A little aggressively. Aurora, you guys get the idea. But as we can see on the map here, purple portal here goes to duo lane and orange goes to solo lane. So normally this used to take me to deer. Welcome to the duo lane. Now, if I run over here to deer, if I run over to water spirit, as we can see, this is going to take me to the solo lane. Oop, and here I am. So portals are not going to be used as aggressively from one lane to another, but instead are going to be used for laners to get to objectives. At least that's how I view it and how it seems that they want it to do. So now solo lane can help with deer and dual lane can help with mini and or big. Another big change that they're making is Another big change that they're making is after one team gets 3 deers, fourth deer is now going to be Scylla. Now, it's not a common deer that many people may have even heard of. Scylla is a unique deer, kind of like Elder Dragon in League of Legends. Once you get it, it's supposed to be the big shebang. It's supposed to be the game ender or game turner. In this game specifically, it doesn't add an execute like it does in League of Legends or Elder Dragon. In this game, if you can get Scylla, it will give you one of every deer buff. So for example, if the enemy team gets all 3 of the water deer for this game, 1, 2, 3, and then it's a fight for Scylla, if our team gets it, we get a water, a wind, an earth, and a fire deer. A wonderful game turner there. Not only that, getting that still gives you the base buff of your minions being stronger and theirs being weaker. Speaking of neutrals, Big Buff, Big Prime, now only hits towers and for a set amount of damage, not incremental damage, and I do not believe it hits core anymore. So people complaining that Big was used to ending games and putting cores at 1%, that should no longer be a thing. And with that, that's all for the base game at this point. But they are adding 2 very big things, and I will show you that right now. So as we can see here, Agnes of Light, the map that we're all used to. This is Red Moon, a new game mode / map. This is ARAM. ARAM standing for All Random All Mid Lane. This is a single lane map, as you can see here, where one team will spawn here, one team will spawn off screen on this visual, and you push across the lane. There is no backing. If you do walk back, you don't get healed. You should not be able to buy. There's a small glitch where you can just walk back and buy. Not intentional. But you get a random character and then you get one chance to re-roll that character. You can then pick among all of the random rolled characters that your team has rolled around. So it's your ARAM map. This is the other one. This is Murdoch in Wonderland. This is a completely unique map just for this game mode. And everyone insta-locks Murdoch automatically. The only thing you can use is your ultimate, the cross-map laser. It is on a 3-second cooldown. First to 25 kills win 5v5 or less in a custom game. So you can 1v1 your friends with Murdoch in this arena with an ultimate on a 3-second cooldown. And those are some of the big changes that we see in this test build. Keep in mind, everybody, this is under development. This is not what is going to guaranteed happen. This is just a look that as a partner, we get access to. With that, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again later for some actual gameplay on this patch, hopefully when it comes out. Again, Adele is not May, Adele is June, and nothing about all of this guarantees it'll be in the next patch. You know, we might get Red Moon in May, but we might get Murdoch in Wonderland in June. Nothing's confirmed, no dates are confirmed. The only thing that is, Greystone is in May, coming up soon, like within less than a week of me posting this video, and Adele is in June. With that, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys again later. Bye-bye!